everyone, welcome to Small World Live. I am really happy. I have prepared a very special program for you. Why is it special? Well, I have 4 reasons. First, we are back after a short break. Second, this is the first episode that I am doing in English. Third, I have a special gift for all of you that I will give you at the end of the show, so you need to stay. And fourth, but most important, I have an amazing guest for you today. He's already waiting backstage and he will join me very, very soon. But before introducing him, I want to say a few words in Spanish. Okay, I'm Spanish. I am right now in Spain, and I have a lot of Spanish-speaking friends, followers, family. So let me say some words for them. Hola a todos, bienvenidos a Small World Live. Estoy muy contento de estar hoy aquí. He preparado un episodio muy especial. ¿Por qué especial? Bueno, 4 motivos. Primero, estoy de vuelta. Después de un pequeño break, de un pequeño descanso, estoy de vuelta. Segundo, es el primero que hago en inglés para todos mis amigos y seguidores que no hablan español. Tercero, tengo un regalo para todos vosotros que os daré al final del programa. Tenéis que estar hasta el final. Y cuarto, pero más importante, tengo un invitado hoy de lujo. Es mi mentor, mi amigo y uno de los magos más influyentes de la magia moderna. Si no habláis inglés, no os preocupéis, porque nuestro invitado va a hacer magia visual. No necesitáis entender inglés, lo vais a disfrutar de todas las maneras. Así que quedaros hasta el final y agradezco muchísimo vuestro apoyo y espero que lo disfrutéis. Well, we are back with English, and now is the time to introduce to you my guest. But I won't do it with words. I want you to see this video.
Three-time winner at the International Grand Prix of Magic in Monte Carlo, Jeff McBride is known around the world as one of the most original and exciting performers of our time. He holds Guinness World Records in 3 categories. His show combines drama, sleight of hand, comedy, and dazzling grand illusion. The LA Times calls McBride a showstopper. Has to be seen to be believed. McBride's award-winning mask act has taken him around the world as an international television personality. He was the featured judge on the VH1 series Celebra Cadabra. He's a 3-time winner of the World Magic Awards and is recognized around the world for his many appearances on Masters of Illusion. Star Trek fans know him as Joran, a role specially created for him on Star Trek Deep Space Nine. He's been a celebrity guest on every major television network and's also been featured in documentaries on PBS and the Learning Channel. Jeff McBride is a dynamic keynote speaker, offering motivational talks to companies and audiences worldwide on creativity and problem solving. He's the founder and creator of the Magic and Mystery School, the world's leading school for professional magicians, where students gather to learn the true secrets from the masters. BBC TV News calls McBride's Magic and Mystery School the most prestigious magic school in the world. From Bali to Burning Man, Jeff McBride's astounded audiences in over 40 countries around the world. Jeff McBride's headlined some of the largest venues and arenas, from Caesars Palace and many top Las Vegas showrooms to Radio City Music Hall in New York. Experience the magic and mystery of Jeff McBride.
It's a huge pleasure for me to introduce to you my friend, my mentor, one of the most influential magicians of our times, and a huge inspiration to me. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together, get those likes, comments, and hearts ready for the one and only, live from Las Vegas, Jeff McBride.
And we are live in Las Vegas, and I am Jeff McBride, and it is time for magic. Abracadabra. Abracadabra means it is created as it is spoken. And we are living in a world that needs more magic. And today we're going to just stop and appreciate the beauty and wonder of magic as we connect across time and space. It is a pleasure to be on this show. I'm going to put these in water. Um, this show is connecting people from all over the world. This is a small world, but it is a magical world. And I travel all over the world with my magic show. And it is a small world. And you're part of our magical world today. When I travel, I realize that there are two types of audiences. And I'm going to look in the comments, put a number 1 in the chat room. Put a number 1 in the chat room. If you're the type of person that sits and watches a magic show, either live or on the internet, and tries to figure out all the tricks. When I look out in an audience, I can tell by the look on their face that they have little creases on their head and they're trying to figure out the magic. Put a 2 in the chat room if you're the kind of person that just sits back and enjoys the mystery, that just enjoys the wonder. My teacher, Eugene Berger, from the Magic and Mystery School, I studied with him for over 30 years. And he said that magic is not a puzzle to be figured out. Magic is often just a mystery to be experienced. So if you put a number 1 in the chat and you are one of those people, there's still hope for you. I am going to give you a little illustration of what happens. Now, my job, my role as a magician is to make you forget about current affairs, all of the troubles in the world, and have you enter a magical universe. And what happens is if you try to figure out the magic, let me show you what happens. When you try to figure out the magic, which is not the point of my show, your brain gets tighter and tighter and tighter and tighter and tighter and tighter like a knot. That is your brain on magic. And my job as a magician is to have you relax and experience wonder. So take a deep breath with me. That's right. Take another deep breath and let all of those cares melt away. And those little knots inside of our mind and body will melt away like magic. Thank you. Now, the correct response to magic is, oh, see? Place that right there. So remember, the point of my magic today is to help you experience the world in a new way, in a whole new way. So today, if you feel yourself getting tighter and tighter and tighter and trying to figure out the magic, take a deep breath. This will help you in life. Whenever you feel tight in your mind or in your belly, all you need to do is relax. And all of those knots will melt away. And that is magic. Whoa. And I promise you, if we work together to create this magic experience, you will experience magic. Oh, yes. In a whole new way. Now, most people know me because of this card and masks. But it was indeed cards that changed my life and took me all over the world. You see, ever since I was maybe 7 years old, I've been fascinated with playing cards. Now I live in Las Vegas. And in Las Vegas, fortunes are won and lost. Loves come and go on the turn of a single playing card. Lives are created or destroyed. Well, cards have a fascinating history. Cards originated in China, probably in the 12 or 1300s, because that is where they created paper and paper travels. And all of these games that used to be three-dimensional games were now printed on paper. And cards were taken across Asia up through Europe and spread through Europe in the 1400s by the gypsies, who used the cards for gambling, of course, but also for fortune telling. And it is said that the playing cards are the great-great-great-grandchildren of a magical book, the Book of the Tarot. and that each card is a key that can unlock mysteries. A deck of cards can be used for many, many things. A deck of cards can be used for gambling. It can be used for magic. And for me, a magic carpet that has taken me all over the world and introduced me to many people all over the world. I've had many great teachers. One of the first teachers was from a book, and his name was Harry Houdini, and he was the king of cards. Houdini claimed that he was the best in the entire world with a pack of playing cards. And to prove it, Houdini said he would challenge any magician in the world to a competition of skill. And he claimed that he always won the competition. Now, I've been reading Houdini books since I was about, 7 years old, inspiring me to perhaps claim that title, the King of Cards, one day for myself. And I knew, even when I was young, that if I was going to be the King of Cards, I needed to practice every single day. And that I did. And when I moved to New York City in my teens, I met wonderful magic teachers like Jeff Sheridan, who worked in Central Park, Frank Garcia, the man with the $1 million hands, who was one of the great close-up artists. I met Bobby Baxter, comedian magician, and Lou Lancaster, who played Chan Lu, a Chinese magician. And I worked on my craft and practiced every single day. And then I had the opportunity years ago to meet Eugene Berger. And there I opened the Magic and Mystery School in Las Vegas. And it is here where I met Daniel Koch, because he came all the way over to Las Vegas to study here at our school and to learn the magic that is around us and within us always. So let's talk with Daniel about magic and about the small world we live in. Welcome to the show.
Oh, amazing, Jeff. Thanks so very much.
Well,
I'm so happy to have you here.
It's great to be here. The miracle of technology connects people from all over, from our little small world here.
I know. That's it. I really appreciate you being here. I loved your magic, and I'm sure people is enjoying. I'm reading the comments, and they are loving it. Jeff, you are extremely busy artist. You combine performing while traveling around the world with teaching. We've been speaking about this just before the show, but how did you adapt to these times, to this situation? I think you are even busier now than before. So,
well, it's incredible. Our Magic and Mystery School has always been here to pass the gifts of magic forward. We feel very blessed here at the Magic Mystery School to have studied with the best teachers in the world, and the legends of magic that the magicians would know of, like Eugene Berger, Johnny Thompson, Max Maven, Larry Haas. Great teachers, great magicians have come to our school to teach. David Copperfield has given his time. Lance Burton has given his time. Hans Klock, many of the great Las Vegas entertainers and master magicians come and teach at our school. And so our school has been helping magicians for over 30 years. And when the pandemic hit, what we did was we offered our classes online for free every Monday night. So magicians from all over the world could come visit us or watch our shows on demand if the time schedule didn't work out. So we've opened our doors on Monday nights every week for a 2-hour class that is free to the world on all different subjects of magic. Now, we've been teaching magic for 30 years. Wow. However, we've been teaching online on live stream and Zoom for 9 years, nearly 10 years now. We have nearly 500 programs every Monday night for the past nearly 10 years. we've been teaching online. So this is not new for us. As a matter of fact, working on Zoom, we've been doing for years. It is a wonderful way to connect people now that there are so many different online platforms like Facebook, like YouTube, like Zoom, StreamHash. There's all of these technologies connecting magicians. And now I am meeting people I'd only heard about that could not travel to the mystery school. So, we've been around a long time and people wanted to travel to the mystery school, but it costs a plane ticket and hotels, and in being in Las Vegas, it's very expensive. But now we're a mouse click away. And we have incredible archives online, free magazine. So if you look up McBride's Magic and Mystery School, you'll see a lot of content, and a lot of our magic is very visual. So it's perfectly adaptable to the Spanish-speaking audience. If you don't speak English, our magic is particularly visual magic.
I know. You told me just before the show that you've been teaching in total on these Monday episodes more than 1,000 hours of magic.
Yes, more than 1,000 hours. That's 1,000 hours of different magic. We don't repeat. 1,000 hours, because our shows are 2 hours long. And they're on rope magic, coin magic, close-up magic, card magic, stage magic, parlor magic, escape magic, street magic, magic for women, magic for doctors. We have all of these different courses that we have online. And now we have students online every single day. I'm either teaching private one-on-one classes or small group classes. And once a week, we hold a class for the world.
I think that's fantastic.
Yeah, and a lot of great people watch. A lot of top magicians come in and will watch our show, and we feature many top magicians too. But we're also creating programming for magicians about how to create no-touch magic or low-touch magic, or what we call COVID compliant magic. Magic that works now that things are opening up. Magic, we've teach classes on how to set up a magic Zoom room, what tricks work, what magic works on Zoom, how to perform on Zoom, because it's very different. When I work in Las Vegas or I tour with the illusionists, I know when I work solo at Radio City Music Hall, it's 6,000 people. In the Auditorio Nacional in Mexico City, it's 7,000 people. And now you're performing for a person who is a friend sitting on the other side of the camera. So it's a very different dynamic than performing live, performing for people over the camera.
It's a completely different language, right? You need to adapt, you need to change. The same things you do in a theater maybe won't work in this new platform, right?
Right. However, everybody has a front row seat. Everybody has a front row seat. And you just don't get that kind of intimacy. Now, I actually prefer Zoom because I can see people and interact with people. But I've been doing Zoom so long that I know that the content has to be strong, because I can't go down into the computer and be reading the comments. It takes a team to do this. I'm sure that you have a team helping you with comments and camera work and switching. And a lot of people on Zoom, a lot of magicians that are trying to do shows on Zoom, they need a stage manager, because when you go into a live show, you're not pulling your own curtain, doing your own lights and music and seating the people and taking the tickets and serving the refreshments.
Yeah.
So we need to help each other. That's why when you called and you said, I have a show called Small World and I'm happy to help you. And I have a show I want you to be on. I'm trying to schedule you to be on, but we've scheduled so ahead. I think you're going to be on in November.
No problem.
I know, but that's how everybody is pivoting and adapting these days, and we're all learning from each other, and that's a wonderful thing. And I'm meeting many new people. And thank you for doing this show in English. So thank you for that.
It's my pleasure. Jeff, let me ask you something, because you are a very successful performer. You started off as a performer. When did you think about teaching? When did you think, I want to teach, I want to share my knowledge, I want to help other magicians? I think it's very interesting.
It didn't help It didn't work just like that. I reached a point in my life where I became very successful at a young age. I was headlining the Las Vegas Hilton, the biggest hotel, the biggest stage in Las Vegas, in my mid-20s. I had reached my goal of being a Las Vegas entertainer. And then I was like, what's next? And what was missing from my life was meaning and wisdom. I was really good at show business and performing, but there was kind of a spiritual hole that needed to be filled somewhere. And I knew that I wasn't going to find it in a casino. So I started traveling and meeting teachers, wise people, wise men and women that were spiritually balanced and wise and educated and illuminated. And I would go to lectures and I would go to retreat centers and I studied with Native American teachings and I went to yoga ashrams and I went to places where there weren't showbiz people necessarily, but there was wise people. And one of those wise people just happened to be a magician, and his name was Eugene Berger. And he was known as the world's foremost philosopher on the art of magic, that it could connect to the soul. It wasn't just about show business and flash and money and Vegas and gambling and all of that. There's Eugene Berger, our philosopher. I have a little shrine here to him. And so this real story is this with Eugene. I wanted to study with Eugene. So I said, let's have a retreat center, because I started talking with him on the telephone. I said, I want to get together with you for 3 or 4 days. So we decided to create a thing, and we decided to call it the Mystery School, because it was about inner mysteries and searching for meaning in life and having magic connect as a metaphor to everyday life that was soul enriching, that was nurturing. And there are some performers that do this. The great René Lavande had that kind of quality. So Eugene Berger, to put it in context, is kind of the René Lavande of America. And so I created the school so I could study, not to teach. I created the school so I could study. And then each year we would invite somebody who was a very interesting thinker, who could convey a sense of what magic means instead of just tricks or illusions. Is it something more? How does it connect to our lives, how we live, how we die, how we relate to each other? So through connecting with Eugene, his best friend is Max Maven. And we started meeting with other people and inviting them into the school, Channing Pollock, Ormond McGill, Charles Reynolds, Stephen Minch, people that were intellectuals, people that were writers, but people that brought some sense of healing to magic more than just tricks. And then it just grew and grew, and more people wanted to put more meaning in their life instead of just blowing people away. It was trying to connect to people about what magic is in life. And that's how the school was created. And that's why it continues.
That's amazing. I love the story. Eugene Berger, I had the huge pleasure to meet him and to study from him when I went to Las Vegas. I think Eugene is the definition of magic. When you see Eugene, he was magic. And also you could tell his huge heart, right?
Yes.
Let me ask you something, because I know Eugene was one of your main mentors, right? If there is one thing that you could share that you learned from Eugene, just one thing, what would that be? Probably it's a difficult question.
Well, I could say that he taught his philosophy in his magic. And I will perform a piece of magic that will not just, he put his philosophy in action. Right? And I'm just getting a piece of rope here.
No problem. Take your time.
Well, just to illustrate instead of just having theory. Can we see? Let's make my screen a little bit bigger so I can see. Eugene would say, one of the things that makes us human is our ability to tell stories. And we humans have been telling stories on this planet Earth long before the time of recorded history. And this is one of Eugene's favorite stories. Now, Eugene was a minimalist, and he would perform this next story with just a little piece of yellow cotton thread. I will perform it with a piece of white cotton rope. Like our lives, there's a beginning, a middle, and an end. And in between, sometimes there's moments of connection, and sometimes there's moments of tragic separation. Times when the bonds between us seem broken and shattered forever. We hope that's not so. We hope for something more. The human dream, the universal dream, is a dream of healing, of magic, and transformation. So that's Eugene's story. And he would put his philosophy into the stories. And he traveled the world to all of the greatest television shows and conferences and events and festivals with a pack of cards and a spool of yellow cotton thread. That's quite a life. And he left behind a legacy and many, many books filled with his philosophy. And his philosophy was that the symbols of magic, the illusions of magic, point beyond the tricks to the great mystery of life, the eternal transformation of life and death and rebirth. And we're all part of this cycle, this wheel of life that keeps turning on this little planet of ours. So we have to remember that there are extremes, and we're living in these now. And I think magic teaches us three things. First, magic teaches us that our reality is subject to change without notice. Number two, it teaches us that we are living in the middle of a capital M mystery. And the third thing that it teaches us, and I illustrated that with the cloth handkerchief before, is that we don't need to have every answer. We don't need to have to figure how the world works. We don't have to figure out every secret and every little detail about what's going to happen next. And we can still enjoy life. And that's what we're experiencing now. We don't know what's going to happen in the next hour, the next week, the next month, the next year. We don't know. And we can stress ourselves out and get really tight unless we take a moment to pause and appreciate the magic of life and realize that it's okay not to know. It's okay not to know. And in this day and age of this information age we live in, there's so much false information, illusion, what the Hindus call maya, confusion and illusion, that we have to sometimes go in and get centered in our lives. And I think that what magic teaches us, that it's going to be okay if we just stop, connect, and open to the magic of life. And that happens in the moment. That happens in the now. It's not regretting the past or how great it was last year when everybody could do what they wanted to and go to the restaurants and the beaches. It's not about being fearful or overly hopeful of the future. It's kind of remaining in the now. And that's what magic teaches us.
Such a wonderful answer. The best way to answer is through magic, right? As you are doing. I think it's It's beautiful. How important, because I know we have a lot of magicians watching this, how important is to have a mentor, to have a teacher, someone to guide you through the process of growing as an artist and as a person as well?
I think it's essential. And here's why. Most of my evolution happened when I met a teacher that was older than me, more skillful, wiser, and more experienced. And I think the challenge is right now, everybody is kind of on YouTube and TikTok and Instagram burning magic into the camera at the speed of light. And they're not really studying magic deeply. They're just burning magic as fast as it could get into their hands from the internet magic store. You know, it's the new trick at the camera. And I don't think that's a path to creating meaningful work. I think it's bubblegum. My job as a magic teacher is to help students make soul food out of eye candy. We live in a world of disposable eye candy, and I don't want that to be my magic. Eugene would ask the question to magicians, what do you want your magic to be? Do you want it to be all about little hits and likes and how many views you got on Instagram or TikTok, how many followers you have, when that can be so easy manipulated by click farms? I mean, it's a path to madness, I think. And I spend very little time there. Where I spend time is with wise teachers that can help me grow in the art of magic instead of learning from my peers. Because I think there's a lot of people learning from their peers. They find their own age group and they get online or fall into a group. But for me, I want to study with elders. I want to study with the wise ones. And that's where I spend my time, because I've tracked my growth over the years. I'm 60 years old now. I know when I've had those transitions, and it's when I've met somebody that's an adept, somebody that's been initiated into life's mysteries, that knows more than I do. And I will spend time with them, learning from them and transforming the way I see the world.
I completely agree. I think we are right now in a time that is very easy to access to the information, which is good, but it's also very, very easy to get distracted. So I think as an artist, you need focus if you want to achieve your goals, if you want to learn, if you want to grow, right?
Yes. The dean of the Magic and Mystery School, Eugene, was the dean. And when he passed on a few years ago, the new dean, Dr. Lawrence Haas, took over. And he's a philosopher as well, America's foremost philosopher on magic now. And he says, he's the wonderful quote, "In the age of distraction, the focused will inherit the earth." In the age of distraction, the focused will inherit the earth. And I love that expression. And we do live in an age of information overload. That's why wisdom is more important. Wisdom and experience is much more sought after than information. And part of what we do at the Magic and Mystery School, since we see so much out there, and you know, we have lots of our students that are on TikTok and Instagram and YouTube doing this thing, so we see what's going on. It's not like our eyes are shut to it. I see what's going on. I see the exposure, mass exposure of secrets. However, the real secrets of magic are not on YouTube. They're not on TikTok. They're not on Instagram. The real secrets of magic, as Eugene used to say, the real secrets of magic are passed on from master to student in whispers. And they're not on the internet. And that's what we preserve here. You won't find our Mystery School Monday shows on the internet. They're behind a firewall. No one's getting to them. You know, they're in our locked room, and only our students get in there that are serious about it. So our teachers, and what I consider myself, is a wisdom filter. There is so much noise out there in the marketplace right now. Everybody's home trying to create noise behind their computer but I'm only interested in pure signal that comes from the heart and the mind. And that's what I tune into, is pure signal and filter out the noise. And there's so much magic junk out there that we need people like wise teachers to filter through the massive amounts of information to get to the beauty and love and the meaning behind the magic?
I think it's important as an artist to know what's your purpose as an artist, and second, to focus to achieve your goals, or to as we were talking before, it's so important to focus. Do you have any tip for young magicians or magicians watching this? Any tip to get to focus on what is really important?
Yeah.
Because it's maybe it's difficult to say, but how to do it? You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, it's a tough one, but I have not had an operating TV in my home since 1978.
That's a good tip.
No TV. When I moved to New York City to study magic and dance and theater and mime and martial arts, I was living on a salary. And back then, if you wanted a TV, you had to get a cable. And that cost like a lot of money per month. And I didn't do it. I started to read and I liked it. And I went to movies in the movie theater, but I didn't watch television 6 hours a day like many people do, and surf. And now it's scrolling. It's called the scroll of doom. People just scroll, scroll, scroll. If you're doing this, you're not working on your magic. You're scrolling for just more crap. So don't do this. Pick up a deck of cards, turn off your TV, get out a book, or at least curate your content. One of the things that I have, if you're interested, and it's free, is Magic Flicks. Let's see if I even have the card here. I wasn't even going to talk about this. Yeah, I do. Magic Flicks is a streaming platform where Eugene's videos are, Johnny Thompson, Johnny's teacher, Charlie Miller, Tom Mullica, there's Shimada is there, Michael Amar, and it's Magic Flicks. You go to magicflix.com and you put in the code HOME and you'll get a month for free of great, wise magic teachers. So, you can surf the internet or you can go to the place where they are. This is available to magicians. They don't have to be a member of our school.
Say the Netflix of magic, right? You have like a variety of
There's 1,000 videos sitting there waiting for you.
Wow. And if you can give one piece of advice to someone who is starting in magic, someone who has big dreams, many magicians want to maybe become famous, have their own theater in Vegas. Magicians and artists in general dream big, right? So what would be the one piece of advice that you could give to that young magician?
There's no substitute for skill. There's no substitute for being skilled. And that's a skilled actor, a skilled in skills in movement, a skill with the hands, a skill with knowledge of the theater. Many people are just trying to get famous, but fame is no substitute for skill because it wears very thin. People are trying to pump out content to get likes, and it's not very good. It takes years to get good at something. So work on your skills. And I think, and this is what Lance Burton says, and he shares with the young magicians when we do the teen seminar at the International Brotherhood of Magicians convention. Lance says, getting 1 million views doesn't make you a good magician. It just makes you a celebrity. Being a good skilled magician makes you a good magician, not the way you use your camera and the way you edit. And there's too much editing and camera work these days and magic that really won't cut it in the real world. However, some magicians have made a living pumping out stuff and other people start to follow them, but they're not very good magicians. So focus on becoming a good magician. And the way you do that is study dance, study theater, study acting, study pantomime, study the history of magic, give credit when it's due. Keep your eye on social media, but it's not all about social media. It's about magic. So don't get too distracted by social media. If you're a great magician, people will find out about you. And that's what Lance said. He goes, if you're a great magician, you don't need an agent. The agent will find you. You don't have to jump up and down. Look, this got 2 million hits. People will find you if you're great. People will find you if you're a great magician. But become a great magician. Become a great magician.
Exactly. And I think it's so important to find your own personality. Like in your case, I think your style is, you have such a unique style, and that's important. Talent is important, hard work, but also personality, right? To have your own personality as an artist.
And I've changed a lot over the years. I'm not the same magician I was in my teens when I started, with this stuff. It's about unmasking and about becoming and trying new things, not getting stuck in one thing that works and staying there. I think life is about experience and unfolding and transformation, not just working on just getting stuck. For me, I wanted to move out into other areas. I learned that pretty early on. Yes.
Let me ask you, I have 2 very short questions that I ask to all my guests, and I would like to know your answer. First question is, in your opinion, what is the meaning of happiness?
Oh, well, interesting you should say that. Eugene was reading the book Happy by Darren Brown just as he passed. As a matter of fact, when I visited Eugene's apartment after he passed away, his good friends, Robert and Mike, took me in to visit his apartment before they moved his belongings out. And there on his desk, he was very minimalist. He didn't keep a lot of possessions. He was very zen in his lifestyle. Was the book Happy? It was the book Happy by Darren Brown. And Darren's take on it is the philosophy of the Stoics, of Stoicism, and refining your life, getting rid of bad habits, not indulging, not overdoing it, but seeking pleasure in the here and now without being distracted by the future and the past. So the key to happiness is contentment in the moment and not being swept away by the illusions of the future or the past, and being able to be in integrity in the moment. And that, I think, the Chinese philosophers called the Tao. It's being in the Tao. And the more in the Tao you are, the more your choices are correct choices. And the more your lifestyle falls into harmony with your environment and relations.
Well, thank you for sharing your answers. And the second question is, what is art for you? What does that art mean to you?
Well, art is anything, any expression that isn't based on survival.
Wow.
Art is any expression that isn't about protecting ourselves from the future or past. Art is an expression of happiness. Art can also be an expression of discontent. However, art is an expression. It's any expression of the soul that's not based on immediate impending doom. So everything is art to me.
Wow. Thanks so much for your answers. Before we move to the questions, and because a lot of people wrote me, they had questions for you, they wanted to learn more about you. But before we move to that, is there anything else you want to share, any project that you're preparing, maybe with the school, and you want to share with everyone?
If people want to drop by the Magic and Mystery School, they can go to, if they want to see what we're up to, there's a lot of free episodes. Go here. I'm not going to pitch anything. I'm not pitching anything. Go to McBrideMagic.tv. McBrideMagic.tv. Somebody put that in the chat room on Facebook. Go to McBrideMagic.tv. And if you do, you'll see a list of our episodes and you see what we do. You'll see kind of our weekly show. Now you'll see only half the show because some of the show where we teach the methods, the techniques, those are for the students only. But we have 1 hour from each episode where we don't talk about method because some people are not interested in the method. You have viewers that are watching now that are magic lovers, but they're not secret collectors. And then there's the other side of magic, which are people that are secret collectors. There might not even be performers, but they're secret collectors.
Amazing. So yeah, I invite everyone to go to the website to check all the fantastic stuff that Jeff and his school have there. And we're going to move to the questions. Okay. So now, everyone, if you have any question that you would like to ask to Jeff, please write it in the comments, either Facebook, YouTube, and we'll try to catch some of the best or more interesting questions that I find and ask Jeff. All right. Let's see. People is really enjoying. People is interacting a lot. I see you have some students as well here.
Oh, wonderful. Who's there? I mean, I have lots of students all over, but I wonder who's in here tonight.
Yeah. Let's see if I get the first question. Can you share with us while we wait for the first question to come in? You've achieved so much. You've done so much for the magic industry and for yourself. What is your next dream project, something that you want to achieve and maybe you want to share with us? Something that you have in mind, if you can share it with us.
I have the weekly show that I'm doing, that is the educational show. However, in August, after my next course, I'm doing one course on the archetypes of magic, how we move from the trickster to the sorcerer to the oracle to the sage. It's this pattern that most magicians pass through in their lives. And I'm doing a 4-part series on the trickster, the sorcerer, the oracle, and the sage. It's kind of the philosophy of the mystery school. And right after I get done with that, I'll be opening up an online Zoom show. But it's going to be a very different show because it's going to be very environmental and travel through all of the different rooms at the mystery school. You've been here, you've seen the incredible mystery school. So this is going to be a traveling adventure through the mystery school in live time. So you'll get a sense. It'll be a magic show, but it will be more of a magical initiation into the trickster, the sorcerer, the oracle, and the sage, which is, like I said, the essence of the mystery school philosophy. So that'll be a Zoom show online.
Nice, very nice. We'll keep an eye.
Yeah, with not a lot of words.
Okay. So let's go for the first question. It's Gemma Aonso, a friend, and she asked, how was your approach to Oriental magic?
Well, that was a very fascinating period in my life. I had great success early on because I practiced. I just practiced. I read and practiced. And at 16 years old, I had the extraordinary opportunity to travel all the way to Asia to study magic, martial arts, and Japanese kabuki theater. And that's when I was 16. And when I returned to the USA, I took all of these theatrical disciplines and I combined them to create my own unique form of magic with masks and costumes and martial arts. And that took me around the world. So I was studying martial arts and movement and theater at 16 years old. I mean, I've been studying martial arts since I was like 11 years old, 10, 11 years old. So I've been always influenced by the East. And when I came back really transformed. Why? Well, I stretched my comfort zone. I started hanging out with older, wiser people that knew more than me, that were more talented than me, that had more skills than me. And I hung out with them and got my ass kicked until I could kick ass. And I added that to my magic show. And then I had a kick-ass magic show that could kick people's ass. And then I did that for as long as I could. And I went, something's missing. And that's when I met Eugene.
Very nice.
Yep.
A few people are asking about if they go to Vegas. I mean, right now they can't watch a show, but if they go to Vegas, what show would you recommend them to watch?
David Copperfield.
David Copperfield.
Done. And, you know, if your English is good, Penn and Teller.
Yeah.
If your English is good, Penn and Teller, because it's a very smart show. And and Copperfield show is just the storytelling and it is really amazing. And he's created so much magic for us, so much original magic, where most other magicians use other people's magic. People like Penn and Teller and Copperfield are just way beyond other magicians.
I agree. I've seen.
Oh, and Matt King. Another one I'll recommend. Matt Franco. Matt Franco is a very good show because it shows.
He was your student, right?
Yeah, 20 years ago. Came here 20 years ago. He's 12 years old. He was 12 years old when he came here. Yeah, and he won America's Got Talent. So close-up magic is very big, and it's interesting. If you're a skillful entertainer that can really entertain with magic, the world can come to you now. The world can come to you. But you got to do quality work, not just throw eye candy out there. People can tell the difference.
Exactly. I agree with David. I've seen his show 3 times, and you could think, well, he's achieved everything. Maybe he doesn't need to change his show. The 3 times that I saw the show, it was not completely, but very different. So he's constantly improving, changing, trying to find the next new creation. So
That's right. That's right. That's right.
So Laura asks, is there a favorite magic trick that is dearest to your heart above all?
Well, I have a couple of them. One is my Sorcerer's Apprentice, which is my coin routine with a young person from the audience, where I pass the secrets of magic down to a young person from the audience. Also, my Rainmaker routine with the water, because again, it's more than just an illusion. It's about a connection to source and inspiration, and a connection to nature, and a spiritual connection. So those are probably my 2 favorite. I mean, I spend more time with cards than just about everything. Just love my cards.
I think every cards manipulator in the world learned from you, from your DVDs. Right?
I think so. I know I was a big influence on many of the Korean and Chinese and Japanese have always been great manipulators. I mean, I was inspired by them, by Shimada and Sanada and Makatendo and Sako, and these great manipulators come out of Japan. I mean, and now Korea. But many people like Ungo Lee and Anha Lim studied my videos to learn, and then they took the techniques and created their act. Yeah, so I've had a big influence on even the Buck brothers. Dan and Dave.
Yeah.
They were studying my VHS tapes when they came out, so they could, they were learning this from me, and then they took it into other places. And Chris Kenner invented Sybil, and then cardistry exploded, and you have DeVoe and Andrew Jeek and all of these other incredible creators. But but it wasn't me. It was, I learned from Jeff Sheridan, and I learned from all those people that I mentioned earlier on. Exactly. And studying the masters and reading the books. If you go down my Art of Card Manipulation series, another series, I give everybody credit. And you won't find that on YouTube. It's just, hi guys, let me show you how to do this today. Like it fell from the sky.
Yeah.
Like, who created this? Who gave it to you? Oh, I just saw it on the internet and put it out on the YouTube channel.
That's why it's so important to read, to know about history, and to learn from
Absolutely. People. Absolutely. You want to get smart? Hang out with Max Maven. That man. Wow. He reads. He knows his sources. It's incredible.
There's a very nice question. What is the story behind the original white mask?
Wow. That's what's the story behind it?
And I think the person asking, if I'm not wrong, on the profile pic, he's wearing a white mask. So probably he really likes the masks.
Well, the white mask, if you study classical mask training, is a variation of the neutral mask as well. When you wear a neutral mask, you can be the everyman. It is the mask of the human without a persona, and it enhances the body movements. So in classical mask training, there's character masks, half mask, commedia dell'arte masks, which are characters, and then there's neutral mask. Sometimes it's flesh colored, sometimes it's white, but it accentuates the movement more than the emotion. And the emotion is stressed in the movement instead of in the face. So the movement comes from the emotion comes from the movement instead of the facial gesture characteristics, the facial expressions. That's so the emotion is conveyed by the body, not the expressions.
Wow.
That's kind of the origin of it.
And the last question is, I think, an interesting question. David Brandwood. Jeff, how do you construct your working day? And it's a good question because you are so busy that it's important, no? How to organize, how to organize your day.
A routine. My routine is organized by how much time I can spend with my wife, Abigail. Yeah. I mean, she has her routine and her daily practice, her dance class, her music that she does, she's an amazing chef. She's an amazing cook. And she's also a massage therapist, and she has that business as well as making music and dance. So I plan my schedule around seeing her. But my mornings are spent for me and my wife. And then from about 12 o'clock to about 3 or 4, I work with students online. And then I have a break for more time with my beautiful wife. And then in the evening, either we'll be doing an online show or the mystery school teaching. And then in the evening, reading, practicing, studying. So in the morning, it's practice and study and a little bit of business, personal business, and then teaching students from about 12 o'clock to 3 o'clock. So it's a very balanced lifestyle. And that's sandwiched in by getting ready for tours. Because as you know, as a traveling entertainer, when things are normal or back then in those days, I'd spend about two weekends a month out of town traveling. So the lifestyle is hard to get into a routine because you're always preparing to leave and then returning. So that's the lifestyle of a world traveling magician, is that you're on the road usually 1 or 2 weekends a month. And, or sometimes I'll be out on the road over in China for 6-8 weeks. So now, because of the pandemic, I have a more natural rhythm. However, this is natural because I'm 60 years old, so I'm not traveling as much, and I'm accepting more that I'm a teacher and a historian and a sage, and tapping into that final stage of a magician's life, not the young trickster in their teens, not the sorcerer in their 20s or 30s, not the oracle, the introspective type of magic that comes when you're 40 and 50, but now 60, 70, and beyond is that time of the sage. So my time is spent in that modality instead of running around like I used to. So I am much more available to students, to connect with students from 12 o'clock to 3 o'clock.
That's great. Well, Jeff, I've kept you long enough. So thank you so very much. I really appreciate from the bottom of my heart that you share your art, your knowledge, your thoughts. To be honest, every time I listen to you speaking, I feel that I grow as an artist and as a person. You are a huge inspiration, and this project is all about this, about me sharing with my followers, with the world, people who inspire me like you. So, Jeff, thank you so very much.
It's a pleasure to be here, and it's a pleasure to be a part of your small world. I'll see you online at the Magic and Mystery School.
Thank you, Jeff. Thank you so much. Well, what a pleasure to have Jeff. And there are many questions, but I couldn't keep him longer. At the beginning of the show, I told you that I had a couple of gifts. So I'm going to go into that, and I also have a little surprise for you. I'm going to perform some magic. But for this magic, I need someone live joining me in the broadcast. So if you want to experience magic and to join me right now and to appear here on the screen like Jeff just seconds ago, you need to go to this link. Let me find it here. So danielk.es/live. Okay, so please go to that link. It's better if you have a computer and you can join me from the computer, so you can have your phone in your hand, because you will need your phone for this magic experience. All right, so please don't be shy, join me and you will enjoy, and everybody will enjoy watching it. And now, while I wait for someone to join me, I want to tell you about the gifts. It's just a couple of gifts. Today, I know I have the audience split. So we have a lot of magicians watching and we have non-magicians. So if you are a non-magician, if you are not a magician, you can get your gift here, okay? What is the gift? Well, it's just a short video of me teaching you. It's like a magic/science experiment. It's something very cool, very fun that you can do at home with things that you already have, and you can try it, show it to your friends, to your people, okay? So if you want to get that, please go to the link. And if you are a magician, well, if you're a magician, as you may know, I have some products for sale, some lectures. I also like to share my ideas and my thoughts and my creations with other magicians. So if you want to check what I have, I will give you also a 10% discount. That's my gift for all of the magicians supporting today, and you just have to go to this link. There's a password that if you're a magician, you should know how to answer, okay? And well, let's see if someone wants to join me. I want to share some magic. So I see right now there are a lot of people connected, so don't be shy and just go to this link, danielk.es/live. And I want to share also some magic with you before I say goodbye. It's been a huge pleasure to have Jeff. Honestly, as I told him, and I really mean it, every time I listen to his words, I feel so inspired, and I feel that I learn, I grow as an artist and as a human being. Today, I think everything he said today apply not just for magicians or for artists, but for everyone watching. So I really hope you enjoy this. I knew it was going to be something very, very, very inspiring and very interesting for all of you. Well, nobody is joining me. I need someone to join me to share some magic with you. So let's wait just a few more minutes, okay? And you just have to go to danielk.es/live, and I want to share something very cool with you, okay? And if not, Jeff is still in backstage, so maybe I have to ask him for his help. But let's see if someone wants to join, because I don't want you to think that Jeff and I spoke about this and prepare something, agree on something. So let's wait just a few seconds to see if someone wants to join, all right? I'm going to say it in Spanish as well, in case there is someone who doesn't speak English, and that's why they are not joining me. Bueno, tengo una sorpresa, y es que voy a hacer magia para vosotros. Necesito que uno de vosotros se una a la conversación conmigo en directo. ¿Cómo? Tenéis que ir a este link que tenéis aquí, danielk.es/live, y ya tengo a alguien. Bueno, ha funcionado. Okay, so I have someone, and it's a good friend. All right, so I'm going to add him to the broadcast. Hi, Alexis. How are you? ¿Qué tal?
I'm fine, thank you. How are you?
Very good. Well, thanks so much for joining. Well, to be honest, we are good friends, but we spoke about this before. We didn't speak about anything.
We haven't, no.
Okay. Can you promise that?
I can, yes, I can.
You can. Okay, so I'm going to do some magic for you. Let me set up the screen like so you can see better everything that is happening on the table. And for this experience, I have a prediction, okay?
Okay.
I have a prediction, okay? By the way, you are using your phone or you are using your computer, Alexis?
My phone.
Your phone. Can you get another phone? Because we need it for this experience. Can you get another phone? Maybe your wife's phone, on your son's? Well, he's too young for a phone, but can you get your wife's phone and the pin to access to the phone in case you don't know it? All right.
I have it.
All right, perfect. So, Alexis, a prediction, right? Here you can see it. I don't have any mirrors, any strings, any assistants hidden, okay? And we're going to use a deck of cards. Okay, we're going to do something completely different to what Jeff did. His magic is amazing, it's very visual. So we're going to do something completely different. Alexis, different cards. I'm going to shuffle them. All right? And it's very simple. I'm going to deal cards like this on the table. And I just want you to tell me stop anytime. Obviously, all the cards are different, so you choose when you want me to stop. Let's go. Anytime you want.
Now.
Now. You want this one on my hand? You want one from here, one from the table? You want to change your mind?
That one is good.
You want this one? Okay,
Yeah,
I'm going to leave it right here. And we need a second card, Alexis. So, same thing. I'm going to deal cards and just tell me stop. All right?
Now. Stop.
Which one do you want? The one in my hand or the one on the table?
On the table. The one on the table.
On this one?
Yeah.
Are you sure? Okay. See, if you stop here, it will be a different card, all different card. Okay, let me show you one more time. All different. Now you stop me exactly on those two cards, Alexis. Let's see where you stopped, all right? The ace of spades and the king of spades. All right?
Okay.
Nice cards. From the beginning, I have a prediction on the table, a paper. I didn't do anything, right? I don't have anything around, anything fancy. Let's open the prediction, Alexis. It says prediction. I hope you can see. Okay. So let's open it, Alexis. It says go to Instagram.
Okay.
All right. Can you please go to Instagram?
And
everyone at home, Jeff, I see you watching. Can you go to Instagram? Everyone go to Instagram. Okay. Find the app, open the app. Okay, and when you have it, let me know. Everyone is grabbing the phone, is finding the Instagram. Jeff is grabbing the phone and is opening. You have it?
Yes, I have.
Okay. Let's see what else. Oh, Daniel K. This is my account. So go to my account. It's at Daniel__KA. Daniel__K. You got it? Okay, the first thing everyone needs to do is, you will see at the top a blue button that says follow. Okay. It's important that you press that button and you follow, okay? If not, the magic won't work. Okay.
Okay, I'm already following you, so...
You're already following. Well, great. And now, Alexis, a deck of cards, I shuffled them. You told me stop on two different cards. It was the king of spades, ace of spades. And I have the prediction from the beginning. It says 16th of July 2020. Alexis, can you find a picture that I posted on the 16th of July of 2020? And tell me if you see something that you find related to these two cards. What do you see, Alexis?
That one, yeah, I see an ace, an A, and a K. And a king.
Can you show the phone to the camera? Can you zoom in and tell us what cards you see?
The same cards, yeah, the same cards.
Same cards, the king of spades and the ace of spades. Well, thank you so much, Alexis. Thanks for joining. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Bye.
Well, thank you very much, everyone. I want to do something different, some mental magic. It's been a great pleasure to have Jeff, to have him sharing his art, his knowledge, his thoughts. And I really have to appreciate your support. The only purpose of this is to give you some inspiration, to give you something entertaining, okay, to watch. So I really appreciate you supporting. I'm going to ask you for a favor. If you are on YouTube or if you are on Facebook, please follow me, subscribe, because that will help me. That will give me support for this project, and also for the next episodes, you will get a notification. So I will really appreciate that. And I'm going to say some words in Spanish before I say goodbye, okay? Muchas gracias a todos los que habéis visto este show hasta el final. Espero que lo hayáis disfrutado, lo he hecho con todo mi corazón y lo aprecio muchísimo el hecho de que estéis ahí, a pesar del idioma. Solo os voy a pedir un favor, si estáis en YouTube o en Facebook, por favor, suscribiros, seguirme, porque eso va a hacer que en los próximos episodios recibáis una notificación y también me dais apoyo en este proyecto. Así que muchísimas gracias por el apoyo y os veo muy pronto en el siguiente capítulo, que será en español. Well, now is the time to say goodbye. Thank you so very much from the bottom of my heart to everyone for joining in, for supporting. Thanks so much again to Jeff McBride. It's an absolutely honor to have him today here with me and sharing so much. I see you very soon on the next episode. Keep safe. I send you all my love. Thank you so much. Gracias. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's hear it for the magic of Daniel Cobb.